Hey everyone, welcome to Everyday Banter. I'm Emily, your partner in all things pop culture, trends, and those wonderfully weird stories that make American life so entertaining. Here, we break down what's hot, what's not, and what's got everyone talking with a little bit of humor and a whole lot of heart. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into today's banter.
Okay, and you know him, the guy who can spot a viral meme before it even drops, our resident pop culture guru and hype man, Bill. Together, we'll vibe through today's hot takes, sprinkle in some fun facts, and keep your scroll finger happy for the next 20 minutes. Let's go. You know, Emily, I'm really excited about today's topic. It's something that's definitely been on my radar.
Me too, Bill. Like, the 90s, it's everywhere right now. And our show today, the 90s Grunge Revival, why Gen Z is embracing classic grunge to rebel against fast fashion, is really going to dig into that. It's fascinating, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, the 90s fashion scene, it's having such a moment. Like grunge, slip dresses, it's all back. And it's not just like a random coincidence, you know?
Yeah, I know. It's like Gen Z and millennials, they're just totally embracing these iconic 1990s styles. And it feels more than just a trend, right? Like there's a reason behind it.
Totally. I think a big part of it, honestly, is this idea of rebellion. Like, people are getting tired of, everything being so polished and, like, commercialized, especially in modern fashion. It's almost like they're pushing back against that.
Right, exactly. It's a push against the sort of like cookie cutter look that you see everywhere. I mean, think about it. The 90s had this very distinct, almost anti-establishment vibe.
Right? And it's not just about like wearing an old band t-shirt. It's about the authenticity behind it. Like, people are really drawn to expressing their individuality. And you see that in the kinds of items they're seeking out, like the vintage pieces.
Oh, for sure. It's like they're not just going to the mall and buying whatever. They're actively searching for things that feel unique. Like, I've seen so many people rocking chokers again. Remember those? Oh my gosh, yes. And belt chains. Like, my mind is blown when I see someone with a belt chain. I'm like, okay, that's a true throwback. And those tiny little shoulder bags too. It's like those were the accessories.
Yeah, it's very specific, isn't it? It's not just any vintage. It's like those vintage items that really define the look. And it helps them create these, truly personal, retro-inspired looks. It's not just about fashion. It's about, like, self-expression.
It really is. It's almost like a statement, isn't it? Like, I'm not going to wear what everyone else is wearing. And the 90s, I think, offered such a diverse range of styles within itself, from grunge to hip hop to that sort of minimalist slip dress thing. It allowed for a lot of different identities.
It did. And I think that's why it resonates so much with Gen Z, especially. They're all about, finding their own voice and celebrating what makes them unique. The 90s just offers that playground, I guess, for them to experiment.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because, it feels like this isn't just like a quick fad. It feels deeper. It feels like there's a real desire to connect with something that feels, a bit more real, a bit less curated.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's this search for authenticity that really drives it. It's not just about what looks good. It's about what feels good and what represents them. And the 90s aesthetic, it hits that sweet spot.
It totally does. It's like, okay, we've had enough of, everything being so perfect, so edited. Let's go back to something that felt a little more raw, a little more, just real life. So speaking of raw and real life, Emily, where are people finding all this inspiration, right? Because it's not just like walking down the street and seeing someone. It's everywhere online.
Oh my gosh, Bill, you hit the nail on the head. Social media, specifically TikTok and Instagram, they are just flooded with 90s fashion content. It's like a never-ending feed of, outfit ideas, throwbacks, everything.
Seriously, my For You page on TikTok is just like constant vintage finds and like tutorials on how to style a slip dress with like combat boots. It's wild.
Right? And it's not just like everyday people, although they're a huge part of it. It's also celebrities. Like when you see a big celebrity, a pop star or an actor sporting a full-on retro outfit,
that just like fuels the virality. Everyone wants to emulate that.
Yeah, I mean, when I see like Hailey Bieber in, a baggy jean and a tiny top, I'm like, okay, that's it. We're back in 96.
Totally. And it's so interesting how that worked because it just inspires so many young people to like dig into it themselves. It's not just passively consuming it, it's actively participating.
And you know what else is wild? It's not just like people randomly picking things out. Brands are, they're smart, right? They're tapping into this nostalgia.
Oh, completely. Like you see a lot of brands re-releasing 90s designs now. They're like, oh, people want this, let's bring it back. And they're running these huge retro-themed marketing campaigns. It's genius, really.
Yeah, it's a clever way to, capitalize on the buzz, but also it makes it easier for people who aren't necessarily going to like a thrift store every weekend to get their hands on something that feels authentic.
Exactly. And then there's the whole secondhand fashion market, which, it's just booming right now. Like Vinted, Depop, ThredUp, all those platforms are just thriving.
Oh my gosh, thriving is an understatement. It's like exploded. And that's really giving young consumers, I think, access to genuine 90s pieces without having to like hunt through, dusty old racks at a traditional thrift store.
Yeah. And it's also, I think, a more sustainable option, which is a huge draw for Gen Z too. It's not just about the look, it's about the ethics behind it.
Definitely. And it's not just the clothes either, which is like a whole other layer to this. Like 90s films, the music, the TV shows, they're all still super popular and they totally reinforce that aesthetic.
Oh, for sure. Like you watch Clueless or you listen to like a Nirvana song and you're just immersed in that whole vibe. It's not just a piece of clothing. It's a whole cultural moment that's being recreated.
Yeah, it's like a full sensory experience. It's the soundtrack to your outfit, essentially.
Exactly. And it's so much more compelling when you can like live and breathe the entire aesthetic, not just like wear one item.
And that's why it's got such staying power, I think. It's not just a quick hit on TikTok. It's like a whole ecosystem of influences feeding into it.
Totally. It's this perfect storm of social media trends, celebrity influence, brands adapting, and then, of course, the ever-growing secondhand market. It just, it makes it so accessible.
So we just talked about how accessible it is, right? Like with all these platforms and brands. But Emily, I think there's a deeper reason why Gen Z and millennials are really leaning into this beyond just like finding cool stuff.
Oh, absolutely, Bill. I mean, it goes back to what we touched on earlier, this idea of authenticity and sustainability. Gen Z especially, they're really conscious consumers.
Yeah, you see it a lot in their spending habits. Like they're really investing more in secondhand goods to build their wardrobes, especially when it comes to like a 90s vibe.
Totally. And it just makes so much sense, right? Like it feels authentic because, well, it is authentic. It's the real deal. And it usually costs way less than what you'd spend on fast fashion.
Yeah, I mean, fast fashion is just it's so disposable, isn't it? It's like buy it, wear it twice, throw it away. Whereas like a vintage piece, it feels like it has a story.
Exactly. And this whole movement has really sparked a curiosity too. Like people aren't just buying clothes, they're digging into 90s fashion history. They want to know like, where did this come from? How do I style it? How do I even preserve it?
Oh, definitely. I've seen so many videos on like how to care for your vintage denim or the history of the grunge flannel. It's not just about the look anymore. It's about the knowledge behind it.
Right? And I think that's super cool because it encourages them to like learn more about fashion as a whole, not just what's trending this week. And they're really creative too when it comes to blending these vintage finds with modern items.
Yeah, it's a real art form, isn't it? Like taking something from, say, 1995 and making it look fresh and current with like a new pair of sneakers or, a different kind of top.
It really is. They're crafting these like unique personal styles that are just so them. And you see so many online communities popping up around this, supporting each other.
Oh, for sure. Like you join a Facebook group or a Discord server and it's all about like, show me your thrift haul or what do you think of this outfit? It's it's a very collaborative thing.
Yeah, it's not just about showing off. It's about sharing ideas, getting styling tips, product reviews for caring for vintage clothes. It's a whole ecosystem of support.
And I think it also fits with today's overall preference for more casual, comfortable clothing, right? Like 90s style, it's not super structured, it's not fussy, it's often like easygoing.
That's a really good point, Bill. Think about it. Oversized sweaters, baggy jeans, slip dresses worn casually. It just screams comfort. It's less about being like perfectly put together and more about being like authentically you and relaxed.
Yeah, it's that effortless cool, like you didn't try too hard, but you still look amazing. And that's just so appealing to like today's generation.
Totally. So it's this perfect storm of wanting authenticity, saving money, caring about sustainability, and also just wanting to be comfortable. It all points to the 90s.
So it's really interesting, Emily, how like consumers are driving this, right? It's not just a top-down trend from the fashion houses anymore.
No, absolutely not. And it's forced the industry to really sit up and take notice, which is, I think, a really positive thing. They're actually adapting to what consumers want.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it everywhere now. Brands are actually launching what they call new vintage lines.
Right? Like, they're taking those iconic 90s looks, but they're recreating them with, like, modern fabrics and cuts. So you get that 90s vibe, but maybe it's a little more comfortable or durable, with today's technology.
Exactly. And it's not just the big brands either. You see, even smaller retailers, they're updating their collections. Their store displays are like packed with 90s themed assortments.
Oh, for sure. I was just in the store the other day and it was like a complete throwback. They had like flannels next to slip dresses and even the music was all 90s. It was wild.
Yeah, they're really leaning into the retro marketing campaigns too. Like all those grainy filters, the slightly desaturated colors in their ads. It's all very like 1990s.
And it makes sense because ultimately it benefits the consumers, doesn't it? Like instead of just hunting for that one specific vintage piece, you now have a wider range.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it way more affordable too. Not everyone can afford like an authentic vintage designer piece, but these new vintage lines, they make the aesthetic accessible.
Totally. And it still lets people express their individuality. You're not like stuck with only what's new on the rags. You can mix and match.
Yeah, and it fits that whole sustainable and mindful consumption ethos we talked about earlier. Like, if you're not buying ultra fast fashion, you're making a more conscious choice. Even if it's a new vintage piece, it's often designed to last, I guess, or it promotes the idea of lasting style.
That's true. It's like a hybrid approach, right? You're getting the best of both worlds, the aesthetic you love from the past, but with the practicalities and, dare I say, sometimes the higher quality of modern production while still leaning into that conscious consumer mindset. It's a win-win, really.
So it's not just like a cute trend that's gonna disappear, is it? It's really shaping how the industry operates.
I don't think so at all, Bill. I think this is like a fundamental shift.
So it's really interesting, Emily, how like consumers are driving this, right? It's not just a top-down trend from the fashion houses anymore.
No, absolutely not. And it's forced the industry to really sit up and take notice, which is, I think, a really positive thing. They're actually adapting to what consumers want.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it everywhere now. Brands are actually launching what they call new vintage lines, right? Like they're taking those iconic 90s looks, but they're recreating them with like modern fabrics and cuts. So you get that 90s vibe, but maybe it's a little more comfortable or durable, with today's technology.
Exactly. And it's not just the big brands either. You see, even smaller retailers, they're updating their collections. Their store displays are like packed with 90s themed assortments.
Oh, for sure. I was just in a store the other day, and it was like a complete throwback. They had like flannels next to slip dresses, and even the music was all 90s. It was wild.
Yeah, they're really leaning into the retro marketing campaigns too. Like all those grainy filters, the slightly desaturated colors in their ads. It's all very like 1990s.
And it makes sense because ultimately it benefits the consumers, doesn't it? Like, instead of just hunting for that one specific vintage piece, you now have a wider range.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it way more affordable too. Not everyone can afford like an authentic vintage designer piece, but these new vintage lines, they make the aesthetic accessible.
Totally. And it still lets people express their individuality. You're not like stuck with only what's new on the racks. You can mix and match.
Yeah, and it fits that whole sustainable and mindful consumption ethos we talked about earlier. Like, if you're not buying ultra fast fashion, you're making a more conscious choice. Even if it's a new vintage piece, it's often designed to last, I guess, or it promotes the idea of lasting style.
That's true. It's like a hybrid approach, right? You're getting the best of both worlds, the aesthetic you love from the past, but with the practicalities and, dare I say, sometimes the higher quality of modern production, while still leaning into that conscious consumer mindset. It's a win-win, really.
So it's not just like a cute trend that's going to disappear, is it? It's really shaping how the industry operates.
I don't think so at all, Bill. I think this is like a fundamental shift. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's not just some passing trend, right? Like a quick little fad that'll be gone next season. This feels different.
Oh, it absolutely is. I truly believe it's a clear signal of a big change in the fashion industry. We're talking about like a movement away from, that cheap, disposable fast fashion model that honestly has done a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? It's about moving toward more sustainable, more soulful choices, like things that actually mean something beyond just being like trendy for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And it's being embraced so passionately, especially by Gen Z and millennials. They're the ones really driving this because it aligns with their values.
So it's not just about the clothes themselves, but the underlying values that the 90s aesthetic kind of represents now.
Totally. I mean, you have sustainability, for one. Buying secondhand or even new pieces designed to last is inherently more sustainable than, cycling through fast fashion every other week.
For sure. And then there's like individuality. We talked about how people are wanting to express themselves, not just, wear what everyone else is wearing off the rack. The 90s style, it really lends itself to personal expression.
Yes, and that ties into the authenticity piece we mentioned earlier. It's about creating your look, not just following a trend. And then obviously there's the nostalgia factor, which is huge. People want to connect with something that feels familiar and comforting, especially in, uncertain times.
And creativity too, like how they're mixing vintage finds with modern pieces, learning styling tips. It's not just buying an outfit, it's about like crafting something.
Right. It's like a canvas for self-expression. And because all these values are so deeply ingrained in this comeback, sustainability, individuality, nostalgia, and creativity, it really makes it feel, to me, like it has staying power. So you're saying this isn't just a moment in fashion, but it's actually going to, shape how fashion evolves for years to come?
I genuinely think so, Bill. It's a consumer-driven revolution. It's not just about what's in right now, it's about what consumers care about and how they want to engage with clothing. And that's a powerful thing that the industry can't ignore. It's here to stay in some form. Well, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode of the 90s Grunge Revival. Or, just everyday banter. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today.
Yeah, seriously, thanks for hanging out.
If you loved diving deep into the 90s fashion scene with us, please connect with us on social media. You can find us everywhere. Just search for Everyday Banter Podcast. We love hearing from you, so hit us up with your thoughts on the 90s revival. What are your favorite pieces?
Absolutely. And, we're always cooking up new topics, so keep an eye out. Next time, we might be, who knows, maybe we'll be talking about the rise of AI art or the secret history of reality TV.
Or something completely random and utterly delightful.
Exactly. So definitely make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single beat. We've got more hot takes and fun facts coming your way.
So for now, from Bill and myself, Emily, thank you again for listening.
We'll catch you on the next episode. Stay bantering.